It's mailbag time here on New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. For the next 10 or so minutes, we're just going to answer questions from subscribers. This video was recorded on Friday following the Thursday Night Football loss. So if you need a therapy session, grab some popcorn and sit down. Michael Pento, what up, man? Thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, is it crazy to think that we are QB and a playmaking corner away from being a playoff team? I feel like we are better than the Texans when they before they hit on Stroud and found a head coach in DeMeco Ryans. I do believe the Giants are a quarterback away from competing. A playoff team, I'm not so sure. I think if you put Josh Allen on the Giants, they could go to the Super Bowl because that's how good quarterbacks do. They elevate teams. Just give me a good quarterback. Give me a guy that at least raises the ceiling and wins games sometimes that he's not supposed to win. I think if the Giants add a good quarterback next year, or they find a good quarterback, or they add Giants are a quarterback away from competing. That's where I'll settle on that. They're not doing much competing right now. Mike G, love your work, man. Love you, bro. Says you said it best. We as Giants fans deserve better. What do we need to fix more, Jones or the secondary? Because Banks looks rough. I would say the offense in general, Mike G, because the Giants have played 4 games this year, and in 50% of them, they did not score an offensive touchdown. In the 3 losses this year, the Giants have suffered to the Vikings, to the Cowboys, and to the Commanders. Those teams combined have scored 5 touchdowns. So in the 3 games the Giants have lost, their defense has given up less than 2 touchdowns a game. The Giants' offense needs to improve drastically, and it starts with the guy that is the second highest paid player in the NFL this year. Bear 315, not defending Jones, but do you think he's injured still and is just hiding it? Something ups. He made these passes before. Hurt, not hurt, whatever it is, he's just not good enough to be a starting quarterback in this league for this team. He's good enough to occasionally win you some games. He's not good enough to be a franchise quarterback that can have sustained success. His arm is shot. I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know if he even had a great arm at one point. I don't know what it is, Bear. Hamza Network. They need to give Tommy Devito a chance. He had 8 TDs and only 3 interceptions last year with a bad O-line. And a wide receiver. Think of what he can do with the weapons we have. I want to look at Locke before we look at DeVito. You gave Locke $5 million this offseason. Locke has won some games in the NFL before. I know DeVito won games last year. But Locke was a second-round pick. You gave him $5 million. I want to see Locke get like at least 3 or 4 games before we decide to turn the season over to Tommy Cullins. Rob Simpy, what's up, man? Is it too early to start the tank for draft picks? It feels like it, man. It's not really my style because probably the thing that brings me the most joy in life is the Giants winning a football game. And you only get so many of these Sundays in your life. And I know that sometimes you need to have short-term sacrifices for long-term goals. It's really hard for me to root for the Giants to lose, though. I won't ever tell anyone how to fan. I just don't know if I can do it. How do the Giants turn it around? How do the Giants turn it around? Someone help me out in the chat. How do the Giants turn it around? Randall Owens, what up, man? Trade Slayton. What can we get your opinion? I think you got to trade him, right? I mean, he's a free agent at the end of the year. He can't catch the football. He's got the funk of losing on him. Giants need to detox their organization of some of these players. Trade him, get a 5th or a 6th round pick, and then develop Jalen Hyatt. And if Hyatt doesn't grow by the time you trade Slayton to the end of the year, then you go draft another receiver. Either way, you still need another receiver. How about you give the guy you drafted in the 3rd round and trade it up to draft a chance? I don't know. That's what I think could make some sense. Make sure you are rocking your Malik Neighbors jersey on game day. Go to chatsports.com/neighbors. Chatsports.com/neighbors. The best, quickest, cheapest way to get a Malik Neighbors jersey. Royal Martin, what's up, man? Would you rather DJ win these close games and keep his job or keep things interesting? We lose, he'll lose his job at the end of the year. If I can go back and win the games we're supposed to win, if the Giants were 3-1, my answer would be win these close games. But the Thursday night game was a fork in the road game for this team, for me, and for Daniel Jones in his career. You win, you're 2-2, you got the monkey off your back. You won a primetime game, you beat Dak, you beat the Cowboys. But you didn't. And now you're 0-13 on primetime outside of Sundays. You've never beat Dak Prescott. And you've never beat the Cowboys when they had Dak Prescott. At this point, I don't even know how I'm supposed to answer this. I'm not rooting for losses. I think they should just try Drew Lock. Try Drew Lock. Move on. Try Drew Lock. Tone Lamont. If Joe and Dable keep Jones next year, hopefully not, what position do they address round one? And what should be the first position target in free agency? If Brian Dable and Joe Shane tell John Mara they want to keep Daniel Jones, they should be fired. They should be fired. There's no reason in the world to keep Daniel Jones on the roster next year. If you cut him, you save $22 million. If you don't, he's on the books for $46 million. There is no reason in the world to keep Daniel Jones on this football team. I don't even want to entertain this question, Tone, because if this is reality, I don't know if I can do it anymore. Michael Pinto, what happened to using DJ in the running game? I thought he was a dual threat, in some capacity at least. That's when he was at his best in 2022. Yeah. He looks slow against the Cowboys. Tough to come back from a torn ACL. Usually you see the guys get back to full speed 24 months removed from that. We don't got 24 months. One of the only good things about his game was his ability to be athletic. Not really that guy anymore. Rob Jigga, Belichick and Beck in 2025. If the draft was tonight, Giants hold the 4th overall pick. I need some positives from last night. Sorry, got here late. I know I was the guy saying to fire Brian Dable after Washington. I think he's cooled his seat with the last 2 games. I think he's called a good game, and I think he's gotten his team and put his team in position to be successful. So I'm not ready to fire Brian Dable. Probably an overreaction for me. I was just very upset. I'm not ready to say which quarterback I want, but Beck is definitely in my top 5. But he's closer to 5 than 1. Positives last night, the Giants have closed the gap against the Cowboys, and I truly think they're a quarterback away from beating the Cowboys. Core, when is ownership to blame? Yesterday. Last week. Last month. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll give you the exact date. March 7th, 2023, the day Daniel Jones signed his contract extension. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter, @MarshallGreen_. Same handle on IG. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue.